I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delving into a poignant and introspective journey in a book called A Reflective Journey on a Loved One's Passing by Ck Brashares. This is a deeply personal narrative that captures the emotional complexities and the transformative experiences surrounding end-of-life care and the eventual loss of a loved one. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight, and we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her important book. The links are below this interview. Cindy, thank you so much for being our guest today on Spotlight.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm very happy to be here.
Happy to have you. This is an important book. Whether we want to face facts or not, at one point, we're going to lose somebody close to us. And often losing somebody close to us means that we took care of them for a long time while they were ill. And in some ways, that kind of compounds the tragedy because your life is built around caring for that person. You know, I remember taking my dad to dialysis for years before he finally died. He was completely in my care, my sister's care, and then he's gone. And it's a lot to deal with, as you know. What made you decide to write this book?
Well, basically, what going through the process, there's five children. You know, I have four other siblings, and we divided up the time of going to the hospital, the journeys to the doctor's offices, and taking care of her. She got to the point where she couldn't stand up, so we had to provide lunch for her, and doing that, and that disrupts your life events. And so, well, luckily for us, myself and my brother were retired at the time, so we were elected to go and do most of this. But the three other girls were still working. In fact, one of them was working, living with my mom. But I really wanted to help people. And I thought, well, what are people doing, like have only one or two children in the family? If you're by yourself, that's a lot to take on and do every day and be there and to put your soul into it. Actually, you do. You put a big part of your life into them.
Yeah.
When you go through this process, and at the end, it's like you don't have it. It's a hole.
Right.
You put a hole in your fabric of your life when you go through a process like that. I was hoping that I could help show or display what kind of things you might go through.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did a great job of that.
Oh, thank you.
And, you are blessed that you had siblings who were there to help you out. You were blessed that you were retired. They didn't have to take off from work, for example,
Right.
to go take your mom to the doctors and that kind of thing. So, it is an important book. If you were going to give somebody advice, like let's say their mother or father or someone close to them has been diagnosed with a terminal illness and they need to care for them for a while before they pass, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say that to treat them like a normal person, like the person that you grew up with, give them respect and integrity, because even though they're sick and they're going through this process, they are still people, and just like you. And it's very easy to get into the parent-children mode.
Yeah, it reverses, right?
Yeah, it can get twisted around, and you become overbearing and disregarding of their wishes.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do that. So my advice is to treat them like you would yourself.
Yeah.
Situation like that, be kind to them, um, and just also be aware that what you're feeling, you could have anger issues against them. You could have um, uh, I can't think of the other word.
Well, also sometimes you're resentful of the fact that they're leaving you
Resentful,
and
yeah.
dying. I mean, that's how I almost felt like
Yeah.
that way with my mom. It almost angered me
Yes.
that she was passing.
But you feel uh like you can't do that,
Yeah. Yeah, don't
and
leave
so
me,
to give yourself a pat, not a pat on the back, but a hug, that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel those emotions that go along with that.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and
And
that would be the biggest thing.
I would think unresolved conflicts, would be a good time to try to have a conversation or make amends if you possibly can without
Yes,
upsetting the your
yes,
loved one, because
yes,
people are people and people have conflicts, and it's part of the human nature to at times not get along, and now you're going to lose this person, and this is your last chance to make peace.
yes,
So make peace, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, very much so.
What was it like writing the book? It must have been difficult because you had to relive the pain of losing your mother.
Well, I think it was actually cathartic for me
Hmm.
to do so. It gave me insight because I didn't think I would, being the oldest, you have to kind of put on a different face than the others. You
Mm.
have to show strength where you may not feel strength. And I kind of put on an armor, so to speak. And it just taught me or showed me that I was more vulnerable than I realized.
Yeah.
And that I had been holding myself so tautly that I couldn't do it anymore. And I finally had to come to terms and say, okay, this is happening. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to take whatever time is left and enjoy her,
Yeah.
my mom.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm glad you had the you know, you thought to do that before she passed,
Yeah.
that you had the forethought to, enjoy your mother's last moments, and because they're important. And they stick with you. I still remember my mother's last words to me. It's a tough time in your life, though. It's a transformative time in your life,
Yes. Very
that's for
so.
sure. In the book, you also talk about the expansiveness of the sky. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit
That
about
was
that.
my epiphany. That was where I realized I had come home after a trying day. My mom was very opinionated and very strong-willed, and we had been discussing things, and she didn't want this and didn't that want that. And so I come home and I was kind of tired, and I laid my head against the headrest before I got out of my car, and I looked up and I saw the sky, and I thought, wow, it's so expansive, and I felt so
Mm,
small. And then it hit me that I had been, ever since I found out, that I had been like drawing myself in, compacting myself to the point that I couldn't do it anymore. And then that was at that point that I says, I have to take and know and be there and be aware that she is going to pass, and just try to make the best of it.
yeah, yeah,
And but it was a very poignant and very emotional and just awesome feeling, at
yeah,
the same time.
yeah, yeah. You realize that, you are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, to
Hmm.
paraphrase a poet. It kind of puts your place within the universe, and the interconnectedness, that nothing's really lost. They just become part of another realm.
Right.
Um,
I believe that. Yes.
yeah, I believe that also. What do you hope readers will take away from your book and your story?
That to be kind to yourself and to be kind to your parents as they go through this process. To be okay with having the emotions that you have with this. Excuse me, I just want to
Yeah.
take a drink.
Sure. Yeah, it's a tough time for everyone. You have a gamut of emotions. Like I said, at times you might be resentful that your parents are
Hmm.
dying. They were the ones that were big and strong and watched over you. And now you're the one who's big and
Right.
strong and watching over them. It's a tough juxtaposition. I'll let you finish your thought. I just
Yeah.
wanted you
And
to take a
and
step.
then if you have a trusted friend, after the math, after everything is over, to talk to vent,
Yeah.
because it will happen. You'll have a lot of emotions that, you'll have like a numbness time, I call it,
Yeah.
uh, afterwards, and then things start rolling in again. And if you can talk to somebody, just at least talk about how your parents were,
Yeah.
like you expressing about your dad and your mom. The more you talk about it, the I don't want to say less painful, but
Yeah.
it just helps.
It also keeps them alive. I remember
Yes,
chatting with
yes.
my father's
Hmm.
brother, at his wake. And he told me so many things about my father I didn't even know.
Yeah,
It
you
was
do,
so comforting,
yeah.
'cause
I just have one more thought
sure.
is and do one thing a day that brings you joy
Yeah.
for yourself
Right. You,
because
you got to
you
take
know,
care of the caretaker.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, absolutely. Take a break, get yourself lunch, go out and get your hair done, whatever it is that brings
right.
you comfort
It
and
may
joy.
feel wooden at first, but eventually they'll get better.
Yeah. And try not to go through it alone if possible. And
Definitely.
be
Yep.
aware that, why does your sister have to go alone or your brother? Go together because you can
Yes.
take care of each other while you're
Right.
taking care of your parent. And it's a whole lot easier that way. Like I said, you were
Yes.
blessed that you had your family of 5 children, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're quite close. We still get together and we've made it a choice to get together like every month or so,
That's
um,
wonderful.
and keep connected because it's easy to, once your parents pass, to dissipate and,
Yeah.
just go your own way. And that's not really good either.
Yeah. And the gift your parents gave you was each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you live it and they live in you. And, it's nice. It's great. Well, you're on the right path. We appreciate your book. It's a wonderful book. It is called A Reflective Journey of a Loved One's Passing by Ck Brashares. And it's a wonderful book. It's, a personal story that Cindy shares with you about the passing of her mother. But it'll help you in your life when it comes time to say goodbye to a loved one, which we all have to do eventually. Cindy, thank you so much for joining us here today
You're
on
welcome.
Spotlight.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate your time. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.